It was a quiet morning, one of those where the city seems to wake up slowly, stretching between light and sound. The air smelled of fresh coffee, the chatter of people brushed gently against the breeze, and the world felt alive in a language that wasn't mine. I walked past the bookstore on the corner, reading every sign, every whisper of conversation around me, and something strange happened. For a second, maybe less, I stopped translating. The words didn't travel through the bridge of my native tongue. They simply were. I looked at the street sign, the cafe menu, the faces of strangers, and my mind spoke back in English. Not as a guest, but as a home. It wasn't just about understanding anymore. It was about feeling the language, letting it shape my thoughts, my emotions, my rhythm. That's when I realized fluency isn't the day you stop making mistakes. It's the day you start thinking without permission. And that day, I did. I thought in English. And somehow, it felt like English thought in me.
You ever have one of those weird moments that feel small, but somehow change everything?
Constantly. That's what language is made of, small moments that shift how we see the world. What happened?
Yesterday, I was just walking home. It was late afternoon. I remember the sun hitting those old red buildings, the smell of bread coming from the bakery near the station. I wasn't even thinking about English. And suddenly it happened.
What happened?
I thought something in English. Like, completely in English.
What did you think?
It's silly. I was late for the train and I just thought, I'm gonna miss it. That's it. 3 words. But the thing is, it didn't come through Portuguese first. It was instant.
That's not silly at all, Marcus. That's a milestone.
I know. It sounds like nothing, but I stopped right there on the street. I actually froze. Like, wait, what just happened? I didn't plan it. It just came. And for a second, it felt like my brain wasn't mine.
It was yours, just evolving.
Yes, but it was so strange. I felt proud and kind of emotional. Like I'd crossed some invisible line.
That's exactly what happened. You crossed the border between translating English and living in English.
It's weird because I've been studying for years. Grammar, pronunciation, all of it. But yesterday, it didn't feel like study. It felt like life.
That's because fluency isn't built in lessons, Marcus. It's built in silence, in those unnoticed moments when your brain chooses the language for you.
I think I get it. When I started, I used to translate every word. Even, good morning. I'd think bom dia first. But now it's just morning. I don't even realize it anymore.
That's your mind building its own rhythm. Every language carries a heartbeat, a way of breathing. The day you start thinking in English, you start breathing in English too.
You make it sound poetic.
It is poetic. You're learning to feel through new words, to name your emotions differently.
That's funny because it really does feel different. Like when I say, I miss you, it's not exactly the same as sinto essa falta. The English version feels lighter, but deeper.
Exactly. Language shapes emotion. Some feelings exist only because a language found a way to describe them.
Maybe that's why I'm starting to think differently, not just in English, but because of English.
Now that's a beautiful realization. You're not just learning vocabulary, Marcus. You're building a new perspective. Tell me, are there other moments when you notice English sneaking into your thoughts?
Yeah, actually a lot. When I check my phone and see a message, sometimes I read it in English, even if it's not written that way. Or when I talk to myself, like, come on, Marcus, or let's go. It just slips out.
That's the language becoming your companion. You're no longer using English. You're living with it.
I even argue with myself in English sometimes.
That's when you know it's serious.
And there's another thing. When I hear people speaking English now, I don't feel like I'm decoding something foreign. Just like background music I already know.
That's your subconscious taking over. When you stop trying to understand every word, you start to feel the meaning instead.
I used to feel like English was this big wall between me and the world. But now it feels more like a window.
That's one of the most honest descriptions I've ever heard. You've turned language into connection.
But it took so long. I used to get frustrated because I thought fluency meant sounding perfect.
Perfection is a myth. Real fluency is when you can be yourself, even when you don't have the perfect word.
So, when I thought in English yesterday, it wasn't just a thought. It was a sign that I'm finally becoming fluent.
It was more than that. It was the first whisper of belonging.
You know, when I first met you, I couldn't even speak in full sentences. I'd freeze, my mind just blank.
And now you're thinking before you even speak. That's how it begins. Your thoughts become words, and your words become you.
Yesterday, I think I finally realized that English isn't something I have to reach for anymore. It's something that's already inside me.
And it always was. You just needed to give it a voice.
Surrender, I like that, it makes sense. Because that's exactly how it felt. Like I stopped fighting the words.
You know, Marcus, most people believe that thinking in English means victory like a medal. But it's not about winning. It's about surrender. Letting the language move through you without fear.
I never thought of it that way. But you're right. It's like English stopped being something I learn and started being something I am.
That's when English becomes part of your identity, not just your skill.
Between people, I like that.
And that's the most honest kind of fluency, when the language no longer feels borrowed. You know, Marcus, language doesn't live in books or classrooms. It lives between people in moments like this.
Between people, I like that.
That's where meaning is born. And that's why you thought in English yesterday. Because you weren't just walking through the city, you were feeling it.
Maybe that's why I love mornings like this. Everything feels lighter, like the world is speaking back.
And maybe it is. Maybe the world speaks every language. We just need to listen differently.
You always make me see things in a poetic way.
That's because English is poetic, if you stop trying to control it.
So from now on, I'll stop fighting the words.
Don't fight them. Let them guide you.
You know what's funny? I think this conversation is the first time I didn't have to think before I spoke.
Then maybe today is the day you finally started living in English. Thinking in another language is not a skill, it's a transformation. It's the moment when something inside you shifts, quietly but irreversibly. You begin to exist between two worlds, the one that raised you and the one that now speaks through you. I often tell my students that English is not just learned, it's absorbed. It seeps into you through sound, rhythm, and feeling. You hear a conversation on the street, and suddenly the words stop being foreign. They become a part of your inner soundscape, like a song you didn't know you remembered. When you start thinking in English, you cross an invisible bridge. On one side, there's effort, translation, hesitation, fear of mistakes. On the other, there's flow, instinct, presence, emotion. You begin to dream differently, to laugh differently. Even silence feels different. I believe that each language gives us a new version of ourselves. In English, you might be softer. In your native tongue, maybe you're louder, more certain. It's not about losing identity, it's about expanding it. Every word you learn opens a door to a new way of feeling. Thinking in English is not about replacing thoughts, it's about freeing them. You no longer need to speak English. You live it in the way you describe the morning light or whisper a thought to yourself while walking alone. And that's the secret no textbook can teach. The language becomes real not when you memorize it, but when it starts breathing with you.
You know, everything feels a little different today. Brighter, maybe. Or maybe I'm just noticing it more.
That's what happens when the language inside you starts to align with the world outside.
Sounds deep, but it's true. I feel lighter, like I'm not trying thinner, just being.
That's fluency, Marcus. Not perfection, not knowing every word. Just being present enough that English becomes the way you see.
It's funny. I used to feel like English was this big mountain I had to climb. But now it feels like the air around me, invisible, but everywhere.
Because it's no longer separate from you. It's not a language you visit, it's one you live in.
I never thought I'd get here.
And yet here you are, thinking, feeling, even dreaming in English. That's not an accident. That's belonging.
You know what's strange? I don't even notice when I switch languages now. Sometimes I'll talk to myself in English, then answer in Portuguese. It's like both voices belong to me.
They do. You've built a bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. Let's test something. No pressure, just talk. Tell me what you see right now, but do it in English. Don't translate, just describe it.
I see sunlight bouncing off the windows. People walking fast, like they're late for something. The smell of bread coming from that bakery again.
Good. Keep going.
There's a kid holding an ice cream, and it's melting all over his hand. He's laughing, but his mom looks desperate to clean him up.
Beautiful. You're not describing, you're painting.
The sound of cars doesn't bother me anymore. It used to make me anxious. Now it feels like rhythm.
Rhythm. I love that. You see, that's how English begins to think with you. You stop reaching for words, and they start reaching for you.
That's exactly what it feels like. You know, for the first time, I feel like English isn't something I'm performing. It's something I'm living.
That's the moment every learner dreams of, when language stops being a mask and becomes your skin.
It's strange though, part of me feels proud, but another part feels scared.
Scared of what?
Of losing myself. Of waking up one day and not knowing which version of me is real. The one who speaks Portuguese, or the one who feels in English.
Maybe both are real. Maybe that's what fluency truly is. Learning to belong to more than one world.
I like that.
You should. It means you're evolving, not replacing. You're expanding the space where your thoughts can live.
You know what's crazy? I keep thinking in English right now. Even this, our conversation. I'm not forcing it. It's just happening.
That's your brain trusting itself. The words have finally found a home.
I used to think fluency was about grammar. But now I think it's about emotion.
Exactly. Grammar builds the house, emotion makes a home. Tell me, Marcus, how do you feel inside English?
That's the first word that comes to mind. Free to say things I never had words for before.
That's the beauty of it. Every language gives us permission to feel differently.
In English, I feel softer. More open. Like I don't need to be so guarded.
Because the words you choose create the person you become.
You know what's strange? I don't feel like a student anymore.
You're not. You've become part of the conversation.
Yesterday, when I thought in English for the first time, I felt proud. But now I realize it's not about pride. It's about peace.
Peace. That's a word we don't often connect to learning, but it's exactly right. The peace of understanding yourself in another language.
It's like I don't have to try to sound English anymore. I just am.
And that's when English stops being a subject and becomes a soul. Come on, let's walk a little more. Let the city keep talking to you.
You really believe the city speaks?
Of course. Every sound, every voice, every word on a sign, they're all speaking to you. You just needed to learn how to listen.
I think I finally do.
There's a quiet kind of victory in learning a language, one that no one else can see. It's not in certificates or perfect grammar or flawless pronunciation. It's in the moment you stop chasing words and start living them. I watched Marcus today, walking, talking, thinking in English without even noticing. That's the moment every learner dreams of, though most don't recognize it when it comes. Because it doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with peace. Thinking in English isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of belonging. The day your thoughts no longer need translation is the day English becomes a voice inside you. Gentle, familiar, yours. So if you're listening now, remember, one day it'll happen to you too. You'll look around, speak, think, feel, and realize you're no longer learning English. You're living it. If this story touched you, leave a like, subscribe, and keep walking with us. There's another story waiting, right here on the screen, ready to begin.